What's up, Slickheads? Welcome back to part 3 of Account Ascension, the series where we take your accounts and we make them better. If you're in need of ascending your account or just want to be a part of the series, you can do so by heading over to my Fiverr page and purchasing the Guardian Account Review package. Links will be in the description. Today we're on Big Baka's account, and before we get any more rude hate comments about how this account's over 3,000 days old and still hasn't completed some of the dungeons, keep in mind that not everybody plays this game as hardcore as maybe you do. Okay, he might have taken a break for a long time. He could just be focusing on just that Giants team and running just Giants for Swift runes, because we all know speed is king anyway. But anyway, today he requested for us to complete the rest of his dungeon teams, and more specifically complete R5, a solo R5 team, so that he can start grinding out, grindstones and gems. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I also almost forgot to mention that we got this pretty sick seal rune here as soon as we logged into his account, which I think would be an upgrade for almost any account. It definitely would be an upgrade for my account. But anyway, I thought this was a great way to start his account, and he was definitely happy about that. I then took a look at his monster box, and it was pretty apparent that he was in his prime when you could use 3 of the same units in a dungeon. That's why he's got the Trikaru going there and the 3 Rauks. Anyway, he still has a lot of units to work with, so this shouldn't be too hard to get his teams right and back to hopefully where they were before when Trikaru was still a thing. I then checked out his R5 teams and just set up the decks that he already had set just to see how they would perform as is, and of course they didn't perform too well. There was a lot of issues going on here, but I like to just test it out just to see where we're at currently with the teams. And the main things that I noticed is his damage dealers did not have enough crit rate, and some of the runes were just not properly placed on the units. So we were going to have to rework some of these units, as well as change up the teams a little bit. So that's what we did here. We changed up the team a bit. It still didn't perform too well. I feel like it got a bit lucky and just barely squeaked out a victory there. So after that, I decided to go back and rework his teams. I wanted to make him something that was very consistent, and he didn't have to worry about having any fails. So we went back and we did that. We put the 3 in the front line, 3 in the back line, just went for the very standard team that I always talk about and recommend to newer players. I know a lot of people just try to jump right into BJR5. We could maybe set up a decent and consistent BJR5 team, but he's limited on mana right now, and we have other teams to build out, so I didn't want to waste too many resources just on the R5 team. But as you can see, it got the job done, and none of the teams wiped, which is good. And of course, we get a new best time here, but I ran it a few more times just to make sure that it was safe and consistent. And we also ended up getting a new best time on top of that, but I'll show it at the end of the video when I do the before and after comparison. But anyway, let's move on to Dragons. For his Dragons Abyss Hard team, I just went for the really standard free-to-play team to be able to complete this, because he hasn't completed this on hard yet, so we might as well just get the first run out of the way for him so that he can slowly work and develop the team out to make it faster in the future. But I don't think I even changed any of his runes up. I just put the team out there and let it run, and it was able to do it, of course, because this is a tried and trusted team. It's pretty much a 100% consistent team. But yeah, if he improves the runes, it'll make the runs faster and keep the consistency. But that'll do it for Dragons. Let's move on to Necro. For his Necro team, we went for a pretty standard team here. I know some people like to use a different unit in place of where I have the Fire Chakram, but I like using her for her AoE so that you can clear through the waves quicker, and even if the final wave takes a little bit longer, at least you save some time by getting through the trash waves faster. But the main focus for this team is making sure that everything is speed tuned properly, and also you're dealing enough damage. I believe that I failed the first couple of runs here. I had to make a couple of small improvements to their damage, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I had to improve the damage of Lapis because she wasn't getting stolen every time. So we made those small adjustments, and we ended up getting him a pretty decent time and a consistent Necro team. Anyway, that was everything he originally asked for me to complete for him. I gave him a few more tips on his account, told him to get through Summoner's Way, and then he asked me if I'd also be willing to finish out his artifact teams. And because the day that I recorded this video was on Thanksgiving, I said, hell no, go do it yourself. I'm just kidding. I ended up making the teams for him, and that'll do it for this episode. I hope you found the tips and improvements to be helpful, and remember, progress takes time. So keep grinding, keep improving, and don't forget to have fun with the game.